Big up everybody in the building. It's your boy Mark and MUFC fan, guys. And I've been making the rounds, doing quite a few streams today. It's a little bit of a busy one for your boy, but get in, guys. Smash the like, subscribe, share it around. You know how it is. Let's get into it a little bit right now, guys. As you can see, the headline is saying United and INEOS, the manipulation of the media to destabilize the, and destroy the fan base. And this is what's happening, guys. It's what's happening. Big up to you, Jim Watkins. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying your day so far. Bro, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Let's bring these things to the stage. Let's talk about it. It's going to be an interesting stream. You know what I mean? Because I want to bring this to the stage immediately. Because you know what, guys? It's looking like we were right all along. This is the right structure for Manchester United. One that has patience. One that's going to be bold. Stick to their guns. And guys, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Hopefully those guys would like to come in and have their say. Anyone who's interested can come in. Let us know how you feel. Tell us what you think. But I'm going with this one right now, guys, because right now I'm really upset. I'm upset as all these professional journalists who create and fabricate stories about Manchester United just for their own personal gains. They destabilize our fan base. They put us against each other. Now we're divided more so than ever. And what is the reason? What is the reason? Well, let's just confirm this right now. Sam C has recently reported that Erik ten Hag is highly likely to remain at Manchester United manager. Sources confirmed to me the Manchester understand that the situation is currently not right, but it isn't up to standard of where it should be. Sources close believe that he will turn things around. Guys, what are your thoughts? Big up to N Van Dam in the building. Big up to you, my bro. But guys, when you look at it, guys, it's interesting. And let's get into more interesting news, better news, you know what I mean? More interesting things that actually gonna, spicing up your day a little bit. Good news. I wanted to bring this in. I don't know nobody's talking about it, but there's our guy, Lenny Euro, guys, back in action. This is him in training. You know what I mean? He's getting himself ready to get back onto the pitch. This is part of rehabilitation and ball grass work, getting back to regular match fitness. Guys, this is going to be big for Manchester United. Trust me, guys. You know what I mean? But I also wanted to bring this to the stage. And I wanted to highlight the opening introduction of the statement, right? The time has come for Manchester United to sack Ferguson. He's been in charge for more than a year, has spent more than £2 million on new players, yet the team now is even worse than the one he inherited from Ron Atkinson. United will never win anything while he's the manager. Doesn't this sound familiar to you guys? And I'm not trying to draw a direct comparison to Alex Ferguson from Ten Hag. But what I'm trying to highlight is that maybe we're a little bit too sensational about it. You know what I mean? Think about this, guys. Think about this moment, right? I want you to remember, everyone a few months ago said we were going to be mauled, destroyed. And then, you know what they said? They said Man City was drunk. But, I'll let you be the judge. Tell me what happened here if we've got no style of play. Just remember, this is one of the last best performances, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Just watch it in action. It looks like poetry in motion. It looks amazing. I'm sure each and every one remembered that same moment when that ball was crossed and this pass was made. Just want you to know, guys, to remind you that while it might not be the best situation right now, while United are not that team right now, don't be hindsight genius and foresight foolish. You know what I mean? Be patient. We have an amazing structure. We all were celebrating this summer Joe, Jim, you guys were here with me. We were singing songs, having a great time, not just on my channel, bro. Yeah, yeah, I know. I'll have to mute the music after the stream. I forgot about that. Anyway, you know what I mean? So guys, it's one of those things where I'm bringing to you, I'm bringing to you evidence. I'm not trying to say he's the right man. He's going to be that guy. But what I'm saying to you right now, we need to have faith that the structure made the right decision. We have faith in them all summer. With each signing, we sang, we celebrated, we felt that rush, that new energy, that United will have opportunities to come back. We have to believe, guys. You know what I mean? Look at the media agenda. They've been writing articles. They hate our manager. They belittled him from day one. From day one, guys. They said he was a little man in a big suit. He doesn't look like he's capable of taking the helm of Manchester United. What did Erik ten Hag do that season? Took us to third place, the second highest points total in our history since Alex Ferguson, 75 points. We played 2 cup finals. We lost to City. We won the Carabao Cup. Guys, we got back in the Champions League. We were out of it the season before. We went to the quarterfinals of the Europa League that season itself as well. That shows you that we were competing at the highest in 3 tournaments and the league. We were fighting on all fronts, and of course, it took a toll out of the team because they all played a lot of games. There was not much rotation, and we complained. And sure, we had 1 or 2 losses in the beginning and during the season that was not great. We moved on to season 2. We tried to play Ten Hag football or an adaptation for the Premier League. We weren't really back that much in the summer because we were told about financial difficulties, FFP, and a takeover. We had the Mason Greenwood scandal. We had the Jadon Sancho. We had the Anthony. You know, we had the Belfast baby. And I would remind everyone, when some guys come on and they talk about why we came third and they said, well, Liverpool had an injury crisis, Chelsea had a takeover problem, they say Tottenham was dealing with a bad coach and they needed to get out some players and these sorts of things, then they say something about some other teams, you know what I mean? And when you look at our second season, we had all 4 of those problems, all 4. So all 4 clubs added their problems together and they gave it to United for our second season. Now, I'm not giving Ten Hag an excuse by saying that, but I'm fighting the ridiculous sentiments by some fans that because each one of those clubs suffered one of those acute problems, we finished third. We suffered all 4 last season. We did finish 8th. Shocking we didn't get relegated. You know what I mean? Because Liverpool finished 6th. Chelsea was in 12th. You know, tell me, guys, be honest. We had all those problems all together in one. We should have been 12th, 13th, 15th in a relegation battle. We still went on to win a FA Cup. You know what I mean? And we're back in Europe this season. We haven't lost a game in Europe. We've drawn 2 games. We've played 2 games. We've played 10 games so far. We've drawn 4, won 3, lost 3. Why are we melting down, guys? Is it because, you know, the media wants us to hate this guy? Is it because the media wants us to hate INEOS? Is it because the media doesn't want us to really become a force in world football anymore? Yeah, we should have won the Porto game 100%, Will. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you, Jim. Joe, smash the like. You can come in as well. The link is in the chat. Anyone wants to come in and have their say. What are we saying and arguing about makes no sense? 4 questions is why we are 14th. Apart from the top 4 teams, other squads better than ours? No. So why are we making excuses for style of play? Well, I just showed you what our style of play looks like, bro. So, you know, for me, style of play is winning. We haven't had the results. The problem is we haven't scored goals. I think we've created many chances to score goals And if you want to dissect, based on the fact that we've missed the most big chances in the league, if we had turned in half of those chances, we would be in fourth. We would be 7 points better than we are right now. We're 6 points off the top. It's only been 7 games in the Premier League, my guy. And I know you have the best intentions. You're a Man United fan. You want to win. You want the best for your club. But let's not act like the first 10 games of any Premier League season has ever mattered in the grand scheme of where you finish. It's never set then. Never. Not once. And today, not now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not believing in this 7-game thing that we're going to be ending up in relegation and this kind of madness. I think that's a little bit exaggerative. Mark, all of what you're saying is why I backed him last season, but where's the improvement? Well, it's only been 7 games, Joe. We just got our coaching staff. Everyone thinks the coaching staff are going to do the same things Eric Ten Hag says. And cool, they can. They might very well be doing that. But are they saying the same exact words and the same exact sentences in the same exact way as the previous coaches? I mean, these guys are specialists in attacking expansive football. The previous coaches, they were experts in counterattack, barring Michel van der Gaag. Come on, guys. We have to give it some time. Even if not for Ten Hag's sake, for our team. For our team, are we saying these new coaches don't change everything? They don't have any little ideas of training that makes us improve? We've seen improvement in the playing out from the back. We have the best playing out from the back goalkeeping coach currently in the Premier League, coming from Burnley of all places, but that's what he's rated as. And we've seen the impact there. We have a new set piece coach. We've started being a threat from set pieces. It's working. Some things. Van Nistelrooy came in as attacking coach. Of course, he cannot turn water into wine. It's going to take a few weeks, maybe a few months for him to get his tactics and the players to adapt them well. We have to give it time. We have a young attacking line, barring Marcus Rashford. Everyone's under 24, bro. And there's only 2 guys that are close to 23, and that's Anthony and that's Xerxes. The other guys, they're 21 and under. They're young. We have to have a little patience, guys. Big up to Pranay. It's not just about results. The performance too consistently poor. Can't blame the players when the manager can't improve them, and it's 80% of his squad. I think that's a bit of a mixed match what you're saying there, Pranay. I'm not trying to debunk what you're saying, but I would say this. If you look at the percentages right now, we're actually performing much better than we were last season. Of course, we have not been getting the results. I think the results are the problem. And the reason why I say that is because if the players finish their goals, the ones who got the chances, most big chances missed, then we would not be where we are right now. Goals win games. Sure, defense wins titles. We have 4 clean sheets, the most in the league currently. The closest team to us is Liverpool with 3. So, guys, equally, I could say we are defending better. We're doing better Onana's having a better season to start to this season as well. So we can't ignore all these things. I know it doesn't look amazing week in, week out. I agree. It's not consistent, but it's a young team. There's a lot of evolution happening. When you bring in 4 or 5 players and you expect, as fans, could we all agree? Could you comment in the chat? Let me know. Do we not agree if I say this statement that 3 of the 5 players who came in, we all think, whether it's the same 3 or a different 3, should be in the starting 11? And if so, how does that impact the current starting 11? Because who partners them best? This is why I keep saying to guys, I'm not that mad we don't know our best starting 11. I think we need to know that by game week 12, 13, somewhere around there. I think that's where that shines, because in that moment, I expect some players to pick up more consistent performances and better form. You know what I mean? Big up to Jim. Mark, I'm still believing we can do well, even 2-4 not gone. 100%, bro. Big up to you. Hey, I see my brother John Morgan. I haven't seen him on my channel since before I got monetized. Big up to my brother in the building. Happy to have you here, bro. Big up to you. Let me know what you're thinking. I'll give you the floor. You know, I'll just probably bring up some comments so you can react to them as well.
Yeah, so I saw your it's good to be back on the channel. I saw your title, and I think are you speaking about that?
Yeah. I was just
Okay.
reacting to some things in the chat as well, so you can talk about
Mm.
that.
Yeah. So and you also mentioned the starting 11 and the players. So I just want to say, like, the media in England is terrible. Like, it's diabolical, to be fair. The amount of uh lies and the amount of agendas that has been pushed out to fans and making them think like that this is the end. And the reality is that this is not even the end. The players look upbeat in training if you when the training videos come out, and you kind of question, are they putting on a show, or is that actually who they are? And the manager seems to be confident in what he wants to do. So for me, like, when the news came out that he's staying, all of a sudden it was like, but now why did everybody make such a big fuss about it? Why did everybody make a big fuss about the meeting that's taking place and they're going to discuss the manager when in the summer they spent, I think, 250 million on players, giving the manager a new contract or contract extension? Like, if you were going to sack him at the first opportunity, then why give him all of those things? So for me, Mark, it's just like a it's crazy because, like, how how is it possible that we get manipulated so easily by these media outlets? Yesterday, KG put a stat on his show. He didn't even know what the stat meant. He didn't even know what the graph meant. Now, that's no dig at him, but that's the epitome of what we go through as fans. We get given all of this information, and if it suits our agenda, we create narratives in our head and we create conclusions that this is how it is. When sometimes it's not like that.
100%. And I mean, I see a stat. I heard a stat the other day. 24 games, we lost 3-0. Okay, no problem. When I think about it, whoa, I'm like, whoa, that's bad. You know what I mean? But then I'm like, we had a 25 game unbeaten streak in season one.
Mm.
I think everyone forget that. 25 games unbeaten. 75 points, second highest total since Alex Ferguson. I guess the only person who did better was Mourinho when he got 90 points, I think it was. And we
Yeah,
lost by a point, something like that.
something like that. Yeah.
So I think about these stats and I'm like, yo, there's something in that. This season, I'm looking at some of the key stats of what we were complaining about last season because I did expect us to have some bad performances. I didn't expect to be so, how to put it, dull in front of goal. To be fair, to start the season, I thought we'd have been having a little bit more scoring going on because I thought, Joshua Zirkzee might have got more goals. I thought Hoyland might have scored a bit more as well. I was
Yeah.
expecting Ahmad to create a little bit more and maybe get some more output himself. But when I look at Andrew Onana, slowly has the most clean sheets in the league with four. That means 4 games he was not conceded upon. So the defense was on top for 4 games. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So let me just put it like that. So we win 2 of those 4, we drawn 2 of those 4, we lost 3 games. Then we went on to win another game in the
Mm.
Carabao Cup. We drawn 2 games in the Europa League. I don't know, like when I think about it, out of 10, we lost 3. We won 2, we won 3, and we drew 4. It's
Mm.
not that bad. We basically 50-50. And when I look at this team and the stage where we are at, people would say 3 seasons. Of course, this is the 3rd season. We're only 7 games in. We have 5 new players that I think will contribute heavily to our performance going into Christmas and after. I think the coaching staff tactics and the new coaching methods might be also one of the reasons why we're not really that ironed out starting 11 just yet.
Mm.
So I think this is a flux problem that will solve itself with a good run of games. Like, we have 10 games coming up after this international break, going into the next international break. And I think this is where you're going to see a better united team because players have had more matches. They're a little bit more fit. They're a little bit more ready for the challenge.
Mm.
We had some ups and downs early, which I think is good because you want players to have that fighting mentality. We've seen in the last
Yeah.
game that they had to fight against not only their own emotions but a
Yeah.
referee that basically was saying to them, hey, you could possibly get off this field today. Just give me a reason. Because
Yeah.
when the flurry of yellow cards he gave out in that game, to me, totally derailed the momentum of Manchester United. No, I'm not saying that's why we didn't score. But what I'm
Mm.
saying is that momentum is vital in a game, because in that game, when a team has momentum, the next team is suffering. And if you alleviate that stress from the next team and allow them to take a deep breath, they could also get back into the game. What is exactly what happened after we got all those yellow cards. And I
Yeah.
mean, I can't really blame the players too much. I think some of the decisions of the referee was beyond understandable. But you know what I mean? That's just me.
Yeah. And on that, like the game that I think you're talking about is Villa. So
Yeah.
on that, like that game was always going to be a 1-0 game. Either we were going to lose 1-0 or we are going to win 1-0, or it's going to be a draw 0-0. Right? It turned out to be a 0-0 draw. The chances that we had wasn't clear cut, great chances, but it was opportunities to score. If you think of Marcus Rashford twice, if you think of Bruno hitting the ball, they also had a couple of opportunities that if they did, if the actions in the final third was correct, they could have been in for a proper shout. So like the game was there for the taking. I think Villa didn't play particularly well because of the fact that I think the Champions League um hangover did matter, but we also had Champions League hangover. We literally came from Porto. We literally came from Portugal the Thursday and had to play the Sunday, and they had an extra day and they played at home. So the the it's understandable that the players didn't play the best game, all right? But at the same time, like for me, like I want to see better performances from our bigger players. Like, yes, okay, the overreaction is not right in a sense of sack the manager. But at the same time, we have to recognize and say, this is not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Players need to step up. There's certain decisions that Erik ten Hag does make and that you side eye, but then you understand it afterwards. And my problem is that the players that that we have right now isn't buying in fully to what he wants to do. And if I'm you said something now. I'll end with this. You said that the next part, this part of the season now, and we come back from international break, is going to be interesting. I agree because Erik ten Hag has put down a marker now to say that like if you don't play well, you can get benched. And if you play well, you will start. Because we look at Eriksen. Eriksen has been the most consistent player in our midfield since the season started. And that's no, or not most consistent, but he's been playing a lot more games. He's been starting a lot more games than you would think. So the reality is that if you don't play well, you're going to be dropped, bro. Now Bruno, that's a different story. But for every other player, Kobe, you don't play well, you dropped. Casemiro dropped. Mazraoui has been playing well. Dalot has been playing well. Centre backs, Licha Martinez, he's tried and tested. Not tried and tested, but his centre backs that he bought not playing well. Dropped for who? Maguire and Evans. Who would have thought? So anybody can get it. Anybody, if you don't play well in this team, if you don't perform, if you don't do everything I ask you to do, you're gonna get dropped, bro. And nobody's gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna get sacked because, as you can see, if the results don't go well because you don't play well, I'm not gonna get sacked. These people back me. So you must either play well or sit on the bench. So yeah,
Exactly. And before you come in there, Ray Calbro, I just wanted to address this because, Will, things that I mentioned, the losses. I mean, I'm not going to make any excuses for the losses. We handed the game to Liverpool. We got embarrassed at home. That was, a bad performance all around. I think, there's lots could be talked about, not just on the manager, but also the players. Casemiro had a howler. I'm not saying he's a terrible player. He's Casemiro, but he didn't have a good game. We didn't really contribute. Why the reason why I kind of highlighted the Aston Villa game is because I wanted to highlight Johnny Evans. And if anyone watched that game, you could see Johnny Evans took responsibility not only to cover his teammates' mistakes, but to go the extra mile to get into every challenge he could, to do every bit he could for the team. And I think earning the man of the match is a big statement to the rest of the United players. It shows the rest of players that this is the minimum standard required of your performances, no matter where you are on the field. You need to lace your boots up and come out and play for Manchester United. And I think Johnny Evans don't care if it's Ten Hag. He don't care about anything else. He just came out and played for Manchester United. That's just what I think, you know. And I really think that the media has been using a lot of stats to kind of turn and twist the fan base into a mob against Manchester United, to be fair. I want to say against Manchester, I mean, you know, like some of the young players not performing well. Now we're saying why we didn't buy, you know, I said it today that, you know, maybe we should have gotten an experienced striker. And while I might be thinking that, I still would like to give the young guys time to find their shooting boots, find clinicality, because, you know, this is why we're not scoring. I mean, Pranay was saying Liverpool have 17 big chances missed like us, Arsenal and Spurs have 18, right? Why are we so far down the table? And I think the reason why we are so far down the table is because those three teams have more clinical players in attack currently than we do. And that is a big problem. You know, and it's not a problem that our attackers not talented or they don't have potential. They're just not clinical in this moment.
Look at Liverpool's front three. Sorry, I know Ray's gonna go, but look at Liverpool's attackers. Salah, seasoned attacker. Jota, seasoned attacker. Luis Diaz, he's seasoned. These are all seasoned players that know how to play, know how to score goals, has the mentality of playing Premier League football already. And we have youngsters, so they must look at that as well.
Big up to my brethren, K-Mula in the building. Ricard, what are you thinking, broski?
Yeah, man, big up, guys. Good afternoon, I should say. Yeah, listen, I've been telling these guys a long time ago, man. Ain't nobody going to go anywhere after 7 games, because you haven't started, like, you've lost all these games and all this thing. I always said it's the 30th syndrome of United fans and the media, and the media will feed the fans, because the fans always believe in this nonsense where, oh, draw a couple of games, lose a couple of games, yeah, he should be sacked. But I keep telling him, man, he's not going anywhere. They're giving him time until Christmas. They'll make the judgment. And Eric will get the teams playing good, because the board knows, you know, we're dealing with guys who are performance professionals. So they know, okay, some players didn't have pre-season because they're just coming back from Euros. They know it's going to take at least maybe 18 games, 20 games to get the fully fitness going. You know what I mean? Not 7 games. So I was laughing at all of these guys. I mean, I've seen them all since Monday, thinking, oh, he's going to get sacked, or the board meeting. They already came out and told you that they're backing the manager long before the board meeting. The board meeting was only going to be a meeting about performances, because they're now starting to have these meetings at the end of every month, reviewing things. So this meeting was never going to be about Ten Hag, because they've already told you that. And the media is still coming on and say, oh, well, there's a meeting. I mean, they even show people coming out of a car going to a meeting. Who in the world does that? Who in the world that your board members, they're going to film you coming out of a car going into a meeting about statistics about how all the club is run? Nobody does that, but just except Manchester United. So I knew the guy's not going anywhere. And plus, you're not going to sack a manager after 2 draws on the road. 100%. Yeah, you might have sacked him if we got thrashed, but we didn't get thrashed. 100%. So I knew he wasn't going anywhere, because I kept telling these people, 7 games, nobody's getting a sack after 7 games. When, if you looking at the table and looking at the performances of everybody else, will judge it. Not a lot of teams have started well. You know, people say we're 14, but I don't really look at 14s. I look at the points. You're 14, but you're not 20 points away. You're 14 and you're 6 points, and you're 2 points and you're 3 points above teams that are above you. So you're still in the game. I mean, who's going to be a football genius or a football thinker and go, wow, you know what? I'm going to sack the manager here. Why? Oh, because we only about 6 points off. So, yeah, we need to sack the manager. We definitely need to sack the manager. Even though we've bought all these new players and we're only a couple of points here and there out, we definitely need to sack him. Why? Because, I don't know, we just fancy a change. And then bring a new man in, then the players are going to go, wait, hang on. What's going on? I signed up to a project. I didn't realize this guy's going to go in seven games. So I'm now going to be losing form. And then he's going to want to choose his own players. And then guess what? The good start that you've got, even though you think it's a bad start with a new team, will go downwards, even backwards, because people will be like, I can't really see this going on. So players will say, okay, you're not going to be here next year. So you're going to be killing the thing before the thing even starts, which is 10 games when you don't have an international break. That's the time you should be judging what Ten Hag is doing when you're 18, 20 games in the season. I mean, if you're 14 and you're miles away from the fourth, yes, I can understand. Maybe the board will say, well, listen, Eric, you're not doing it. But if he's 10 games in, I mean, it's 20 games in, sorry, and you're eighth with 3 points off first, 3 points off fourth, sorry, do you really need to continue talking about sacking? You don't.
Bro. It's a bit
Just
too
get a guy,
much, bro.
yeah. Too much, and I believe.
I was to bring in 2 questions into the chat because I don't have that much time. I have to get ready for work. So I want to bring Fix in. Fix, I have 2 questions here from Jarvis. Big up to Jarvis Cocker in the building, guys. Right, chat. I would like you guys to also, try and, think about it and give us an answer to this question that's on the screen that's displayed to you all. The interesting thing is, why are we not clinical? So, guys, if you guys could keep it brief, just give me a little bit of your impressions on why we're not clinical. I will start with Fix. I will move to Ricard and then to John.
We have young players, and I would say most of our chances has fell to a new player that just got to United new, which is Zexi. This thing I'm saying now is a pure fact. This season, all our chances are falling into his legs. Either he did not strike the ball very well or keeper catches it, and nobody can dispute that. And he's a new player in our team, and he's a young man. He's still learning the league and all that. So I don't think we have much firepower for them to deliver immediately. So they still have to get this cohesion into the team. You see, like what I was saying, I think that if when you watch Zexi and Hoyland, I can say if it was Hoyland that was there throughout and was getting all those chances, you can be sure that Hoyland will get more goals than what Zexi has produced so far, because of what he can do anything to get the ball behind into the net. So that's one of the things I can think of. We have young players often there. The main talisman is just Rashford. Thank God he's coming back into form. That's the player you can say. And the 2 strikers we have, they have not done 20 goals a season before. They have not even done 15 goals. 15 league goals. Let me just put it like that a season. I don't think any of them have done that. So they are very, very young in the trade they are in. For my own opinion. So with that point, I will say that just right there is there. Ahmad, I can say this season is his first season playing a top flight league. Starting a game in a big club like United. He went to Sunderland, but Sunderland is not United. Sunderland Championship is not Premier League. So even Anthony himself, you are not coming up. Mark, you are not coming up.
Oops, can't hear you.
Nah, you're on mute, Mark. Mark, you're on mute.
Mark, you're mute.
can hear me
But I
now?
think like
Yes.
while Mark fixes
Fix it.
we
Your
still can
mic a
hear
little
you.
bit distorted, so the guy's
Yeah.
not hearing you
Okay. Yeah.
properly. So I just wanted to say that maybe we ought to check and see if you ought to check the internet connection, bro, because they're not hearing you properly at all.
Well, I'm hearing you.
No, fix. I'm talking about. No, I
Oh.
mean, so Ray, the question was there. Why are we not clinical?
Well, I think we were going in a great direction in 2 games because we scored 10 goals in 2 games, and we looked like we were very critical. To be honest, 7. I know people always go, it's Barnsley, but you still have to score the goals. We were very clinical because I was at that match. And then Southampton, we came in a very good performance. So we are creating chances, but I think what happening is, as the chap said, Zerk is a lot of them has felt to Zerk, and unfortunately, he's not clinical. Because if he was, I'm not blasting him because I think he's a good player. I just think he's a bit confidence shy in goal because he hasn't got he hasn't been slamming his foot through the, get your laces through the ball and smash it in the back. And we would have scored a lot more goals with him because he's had so many chances, man. He's had a couple of headers in the Liverpool game. Then he had another shot that Alisson saved. Then there's Spurs. I think it's Garnacho found him the ball, and you thought, oh, that's 1-0 there, and he just kind of not thing it. So I must say, but I think we're going back to what the mistakes that what we did last season, where where we're cutting inside too much and trying to score some goals that way, which you're never going to be clinical if you're cutting inside and trying to score from 30 miles, 30 yards out, which I think that's what we've been doing past Crystal Palace because we've been hitting the post. I mean, even Aston Villa, Rashford made a good save out of Martinez, and I think we hit the post again. So yeah, we're not clinical these past couple of games like I thought we were showing when we were playing, earlier this year. Because even in the Fulham match, people forget that how many saves Leno did in the first half until we actually eventually did get the goal. You know what I mean? So, people go, oh, we sneaked to 1-0. Yeah, well, the keeper saved lots of chances. So we are getting the chances. I just think it's not falling to the clinical guys at the moment. Zerky, he's new to the team, he's new to the league, and he's a good player. If he was a little bit more clinical, United would be like up there with lots of goals. And I think that's the problem with us at the moment. The guy, because the player is getting the ball to the strikers. The people say, "Oh, no style of play." No, boys, we're getting the ball to the right players. We're getting the ball on the wing. Garnacho's getting the goals in. Rashford's looking good. So the play style is there. It's just that our new fella, who's always seemed to Zerky, he is getting into positions where you think he has a goal, but he's just not finishing it. You know what I mean? So that's why we're not clinical.
What do you think about that question, bro? Like, why aren't we clinical right now? What do you think?
You see, clinical comes with form. I think some players like your world class players, Harry Kane, Lewandowski, those type of strikers. If they get a chance, regardless of form, they're gonna bury it. Robin van Persie, that type. But then you get other types of players that scores goals based on form. And I think a lot of our players at the moment didn't need form yet. They don't know the meaning of form even. If you must put form in front of them, they will say, I don't know what that is. Because their form is just horrid. They're not playing well at all. And I understand the confidence aspect of things. I do think that we need to have a little bit more grace for these players and understand that they are young. If we look at Rasmus Højlund, was injured for majority of the games in the beginning of the season. So he's more clinical than most of our other strikers, right? So at the moment, and he's also young. At the moment, you look at Garnacho. Garnacho has had opportunities where he could score and he didn't score, and then he's had other opportunities to score and he scored. Same with assists. There's some assists that's easier to make, like the one at Villa. He could have easily chipped the ball over, just nicely put the ball onto Bruno's foot. One first touch, Bruno could have banged it into the net. We could have win that game 1-0. So um again, I will say young players, you need to, if you're gonna have young players, you need to stay with him and suffer with him, because they're not always gonna pull off these amazing Lamine Yamal type performances where they're just gonna bang, 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 and it's gonna be goal, goal, goal. So that's the reality. We need to understand that it's not always gonna be how we want it to be. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be a struggle sometimes.
Interesting, bro. Guys, one more question, and I have a question from Kenny coming in as well, and then we'll wrap up, guys. So in the simplest way possible, right? Or give me two examples or example that you notice of a pattern or patterns that we can find in our finishing problems. I'll start with Fix.
Two examples.
Yeah.
What I will say is most of the time, because of our strong way or strong players from the left, but at times, sure, the team don't just come out. I see a pattern where we overload the right hand side, then using a Garnacho or Rashford. So we seem to be doing it very much. Time Bruno going to the right side, Ahmad and all that before you know it. Rashford, I saw it many times. Rashford would break free or Garnacho would break free. You know, that's just basically what I used to see in our game. You know, in terms of the attacking end of the game.
Big up.
So that, yeah.
Ray, two examples or any patterns that you have seen that we can find in our finishing problems.
I think we need to do a 1-2 more in the patterns, because when we get the 1-2 going, guys are getting open. I think those patterns of play where they go to the wide guy. I think Rashford can go wide, give it to the right back. Those 2-1 pattern. Easy in and look for the cross early. Don't just run it to the byline and run it out.
That's what I was saying, because there is no straw. So the combination don't always come out clear. There seems to either go to shoot with their left foot or try to cut in and shoot with the right foot. But if there is a look short there, when we overload the light and that space is there, you will see more crossing and more overlapping from Shaw and all that. Yes. But because there's nothing like that, what's his name? Daru goes to the midfield, so there is nobody helping out. You feel either Garnacho will shoot from the left foot or shoot from the right foot. Sometimes Rashford do cross the ball, So,
John, what you saying, bro? Like, what you think about that question that Jarvis asked earlier?
Yeah, so the patterns of play is very clear for me personally. Going from back to front. If you look at the goal, the disallowed goal at Brighton. Oh my goodness.
Oh, come here. She wake up.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to top. All
right, bro. Sorry about that, bro. Big up. But guys, big up to all of you for coming in. Thank you guys for all of your comments. Guys, we're not going to hide from the truth in here. We're going to always try to experience it from all around, but we're not just going to talk about all the negatives. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, we all see the negatives. We all see there are positives. The negatives might be more than the positives right now. But at the end of the day, we all here to what our ideology is to get United winning. Whether it is a different manager, different player, different strategy, different formation, different tactics. We're here for it. You know what I mean? Drop your comments inside. Leave a criticism on the end of streams. Come in, have your say when we do call-ins, guys. all is welcome. And you know what? It's always good to have more points of reference because it makes it more dynamic, the conversation, you know. And we definitely want United to improve. And as fans, you know, maybe naturally it might be me, like just like me, Eric Ten Hag stay, Eric Ten Hag in. Maybe we might be a little bit like Elite Baller. You know, my brethren in the building here, big up to him. Don't forget to go check out his channel. He have a really cool football, you know, stream as well. And he also does some eFootball gaming stream. So, you know, I enjoy watching it sometimes. I'm eating some popcorn, chilling out in the background, you know. Big up to him. You know, big up to all of you guys. Royden is always talking about his views, and everyone has different views. You know, like guys like me might be a little bit more patient. Some guys might be a little bit more impatient about it, you know, thinking that, you know, we should be winning more now. You know, for some of you, 7 games is too much time. For some of us, it's too little time. But that doesn't mean we need to be upset with each other. We could disagree. That's okay. Because we all want United to win. Big up to GB in the building. Big up to Jim Watkins. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to mention some points. Jim Watkins brought a point up earlier on, and I didn't see anything about it, but I always think about it like this. If we sack the manager now, are we also going to sack the bad underperforming players? The defensive coach, the goalkeeping coach, sacking one while others remain is a madness without common sense. You know, the reason why I say that is because Wayne Rooney was saying recently that, you know, the players need to step up. Too many times we've blamed these performances on different managers. At which point are the players going to have their own regards, respect for themselves, you know, and hold responsibility for their actions? I mean, look at Johnny Evans, and this was one of his quotes and him saying, speaking out recently this week. And I think as we've seen Johnny Evans' performance this weekend, guys, we can all, you know, unanimously, or if not, even if you don't agree with me on Ten Hag, you could still think that this is the kind of performance and representation you want from each and every player on the field of play week in, week out. I don't think we will disagree there, because I think if we had 2 or 3 or even 5 players like Johnny Evans with that level of commitment on the day, every day, we would definitely be winning more games than we are losing and drawing. And you know, we did lose 3 this season already. Hopefully that's not, you know, my prediction was no more than 7 in the Premier League. So we kind of cutting it close already, guys. You know what I mean? Jay O'Connell is saying, look, we sack a manager every 3 years. Look at Arsenal. Their manager has been there. They stuck by him when he finished 8th 2 times and then 5th and then 2nd. Look at Arsenal now. You know what I mean? Same thing with Liverpool. You know, they had a 10-year coach. Man City's going on 9 seasons. You know, all the teams that are currently at the top of the Premier League have coaches that have been there, or teams that have been in systems for more than 6 or 7 seasons. And that is an important point as well. You know what I mean? You know, Kenny, last question of the day. I will post this to you guys right before I go, and hopefully you guys could leave some comments in the non-live section and let me know what you think about this question from Kenny Fan TV. Why is our attacking system so overloaded? This should be the question to ask. Now, that's a different point of reference. I would not even think about it like that. Let's see how it goes. Let us know what you think. That's a brilliant question from Kenny Fan. Thank you guys for joining us today. Big up to Ray Carl Brown for joining me. Big up to John Morgan in the building. Big up to Joe Blackman. Big up to Fix as well. Big up to you, Jim Watkins, Elite Baller. Big up to Stephanie Griffith. Big up to all of you guys. Big up to Jack Reacher, GB, my brethren. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're, you know, you don't have any family that's dealing with that hurricane right now. I know it's going to be really bad. My sister and them had to evacuate from Florida over the last couple of days, and so did my aunt. So it's an interesting one. Guys, you know, be careful out there, you know, pay attention to your surroundings, be safe. I know right now a lot of us are frustrated and stressed out by this football club, but remember, you know, life is short, you know, value the people around you, stay close to those who are close to you, you know, and look out for everyone and look out for yourselves everywhere you go. Big up to Sadiq Rahman. He's saying the point is we have to give these players time to play better football. I'm going to leave this one with you guys because you know what? We've had a good stream. It's my pleasure to always interact with each and every one of you. I hope you guys will come in every time we have a stream. Once you have time, you know, leave your comments. Let us know what you're thinking. You know, share it around. Let's make the family grow. This is more of a family than a community. I'm from the Caribbean, so, you know, once we're good, you're just like family. You know what I mean? Anything, it's just how we live. So big up to all of you guys coming, and thank you for always supporting me. Big up to each and every one of you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll be back later on. Yo, 21 likes like Anthony. I should have break out the kit. Nah, we'll leave that for the next stream. Hope you guys have a great afternoon. Catch you later. It's been your boy Mark and MUFC fan, and you know what it is, guys. Manchester United rules.